Hi, my name's Bear, and today we'll be learning all about entity relationship diagrams, or ERDs. We'll start off with a high-level overview, and then we'll dive in and create one together, complete with entities, attributes, relationships, and cardinalities. By the end of this video, you'll be able to create an entire ERD from scratch. Have you ever wondered why you get an error message telling you that your ideal social media handle's already been taken? Or maybe you're curious how an online store like Amazon keeps track of so many different orders, customers, and products. The answer to these questions lies within the creation of a database. A database is a collection of information that's organized for easy storage, management, updates, and retrieval. As you can imagine, there's a lot of moving information in a database, and understanding how each of these elements interacts with one another can be difficult to grasp. ERDs provide engineers with a visual way to understand how this information is related and how it works together. So, how do we make one? Today, I'm going to be using Lucidchart, and you can too, for free actually. By clicking on the top right corner, you can access Lucidchart's website, enter your email address, and have a free account in just a few seconds. That way you can follow along with me and create your own ERDs in the future. Okay, so in order to build an ERD, we need to better understand its individual components. And this starts with entities. An entity is an object, like a person, place, or thing that's tracked in the database. For example, if we were to buy something on Amazon, say a rockin' pair of Crocs,
these aren't the droids we're looking for.
An entity could be the customer, the order, and of course, our Crocs, the product. Now, each of these entities will have attributes, which are properties or traits. In this case, under the customer entity, we have customer ID, first name, last name, street, city, zip, and phone. It's important to note that entities in your database will always be depicted as rows and that attributes will always be depicted as columns. And now that we have these different entities and attributes on the screen here, we can talk about the relationships that exist between them. Relationships describe how these entities will interact with each other. So when I draw a line between these particular elements, I'm showing that there's some sort of interaction or connection. And now that we have our relationships in place, we'll see an interesting notation attached to our lines. This is called cardinality. Cardinalities help define the relationship in a numerical context, particularly within minimums and maximums. For example, this list shows some of the different cardinalities that can appear in an ERD. We have one, many, one and only one, zero or one or many, and zero or many. And if this isn't making sense yet, don't worry. We'll walk through a few examples to help piece everything together. Let's start by talking about the relationship and cardinality that exists between customer and order. The best way to do this is to think about it logically. So we should ask ourselves two questions. What is the minimum number of orders that a customer could have? And two, what is the maximum number of orders that a customer could have? Well, a customer could exist, but he or she could have 0 orders. So to show that, we'll have that 0 sign. Now we need to think about the maximum. And as you've probably assumed, a customer could have an infinite number of orders, especially when it comes to Crocs. You can never have just one pair. So to show that, we'll use this 0 or mini crow's foot notation. Now, let's talk about the minimum and maximum relationship between orders and customers. We'll start by applying the same logic. So we'll ask ourselves, what is the minimum amount of customers that an order may have? And what's the maximum amount of customers that an order may have? A specific order can have one and only one customer. Imagine the confusion that would come if the same specific order had a lot of customers. So in this case, there can be one and only one number of customers to order. And we show that using this sign here. Now let's talk about the relationship or cardinality between orders and products. We'll ask ourselves a similar question. A certain order can have how many products? Well, for an order to exist, it has to have one product, but a lot of different products can be part of that order. So to show that in our diagram, we'll change this notation. Now we'll ask ourselves that question in reverse. a product can be a part of how many orders? Well, a product could be a part of no orders, but it could also be a product of many orders. So we're going to use this zero or many notation on our diagram. And just like that, we've built an entire entity relationship diagram. And even though it's a simple example, you should now have the basic skills needed to build a complex one. And not only that, but because you used Lucidchart, you also have the option to export this diagram directly into a database. Using the export feature, Lucidchart can automatically generate code that can be imported into the database management system that you're using, helping you be more efficient than ever. As always, thanks for watching. And be sure to check out our next video where we dive into the complexities of ERDs by discussing things like primary keys, foreign keys, and bridge tables. And if you're interested in learning more ways Lucidchart can help you visualize your data, check out training.lucid.co. Hope to see you there.